the 25th of January 2026. Lovely, lovely. Let's look at the market. What do we have? What are you giving to us? The market, tell us what you have to offer. Let us know what you have to offer the market. I've got a lot of questions to be answered today, and I've got a lot of stuff, but we're not going to waste too much time tonight. So, because we're starting, continue from where we stopped last week, everybody. Now, a very quick one. I have to make the announcement so that you wouldn't say you were not aware. Yeah, we started a live trading scalping of gold last week, and I think it was great for people who participated and following instructions and all of that. So very fantastically that we have a lot of opportunity that people can help themselves to make money, and so we're using our scanner, and it's making a lot of sense. And so if you're watching us live and then you've not yet started, and it's very simple. Yeah. So of course, if you need the scanner, you have to subscribe for it. But either you have the scanner or not, you can enjoy the benefit. How do you mean? It's just for you to um, register, fund your account on the micro account, or if you want to fund standard, you can fund your capital extend and then you go ahead and then fund your account. Or please, if you can hear me, just type 111 on the chat box. If you can hear me, please, very quickly. If you can hear me live and direct, type 111 on the chat box. So it won't be I'm talking to myself and we're not together. You can hear me live and direct. You're on the chat. Please kindly type 111 on the chat box quickly. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. That's lovely. Okay, so we've just said we've started a lot of activities in the market and trying to um, build up as momentum. And if you know what we're doing right now is helping a lot of people to achieve financial freedom. I must tell you guys that you do not need to be working so hard to achieve financial freedom, but there's need for power of leverage. If you cannot leverage, I'm sorry, you're going to work too hard, yet not achieving what you're targeting to achieve. So we have the era of AI. So let's look at the markets in general, and then I'm going to give you some announcement of what we've been doing, and of course, we've been progressing. That's the truth. We have a very fantastic and phenomenal training meeting yesterday with Evijet Academy, and you got to see and hear the kind of joy of people who are participating on the live trading sections now. They've been having for more than 1 week or something. Now, there's something I'd like us to know. You cannot achieve anything meaningful without taking personal responsibility. That's the truth. You cannot achieve anything meaningful without taking personal responsibility. In the financial market, we have a whole lot of things, but I want you to debug your mind from this very wrong perspective that many of us have because of the participant that are doing it wrongly in the market, letting you know you can just like a gimmicks, hit and run, gambling. No, 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 no. It's not. You have to be intentional. Okay, so let's quickly look at the market. And I'm going to start from let's quickly look at DXY first before we come to Bitcoin. Now, so I told us one thing. You can perhaps say that the market on Euro USD is going to continue buying. Buying, like I said before. If you look at the current trend of activities in the fundamental issues around the market, so that means gold will continue to buy. That's what it means. So we've been ranging on DXY all this while. That's since last year, struggling to break above this point. And I told us unless and if we break above that point, we go nowhere. And exactly what's happening right now. So I'm not going to drive too much. So last week I was telling us, except and if DXY is going to have a market up. But now this is the point. So we have what we call an established low for this daily time frame here. Okay, so if we have an established low for this daily time frame here for DXY, so that means unless and if you get a sweep of liquidity over here and then get a bounce. If not, at the breaking of it, if you go to a weekly time frame, you're going to see that we're going to have much free fall for DXY. And the more free fall we have, so that means you're going to have massive drop on, DXY continue here. So, but we have an established low, which can be like a sell side liquidity. Now, if you're able to sweep that, but before you sweep that, that's an opportunity for more buying of Euro USD. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so the Euro USD, the DXY still points to heading down to this point. That's about 96.595. All right. And then if we're going to achieve that, then you have more meaningful movement that's still going to give to you. I already told us that what has to do with Euro USD is the upside down of USD, DXY. So if the SY, so they have what we call a kind of um, a divergence, okay, and then negative SMT. So be that as it may, so let's quickly correlate it to what the Euro USD will be doing. I told us that upon the ranging and all of that we're having on Euro USD, now that we're still bullish, except and if we take out this low. And so that means we have been on a daily range for Euro USD because of the ranging activities too on DXY. Now we're supposed to smash off this point, and then so if that happens, then we have a continuation. So, but maybe probably what's going to happen now, because we have a high here, and so a retest. All right, this opening of the market, that means our journey still continue. I don't want to go to monthly time frame. If not, you're going to see that euro have a long way to go. All right, in the bullish movement, as it were, that's a long way to go. Okay, so that means I should be looking for more buy. Just like I said, it was weekly key level. This bounce happened the last week, and then I said, so we're still going to have more opportunity of buying Euro USD. Continue. Then the same thing, of course, whatever thing you have around Euro USD, then you can easily correlate to uh, GU. So as it were, okay. And so looking at GU here, so I can take over to this point. So even if it's going to be likely a pullback, so that is to say we've closed above this point, and then probably you're going to have some pullback and then continue the journey. So if you look at how the market have been struggling all this while for Euro USD, I hope you can hear me and loud. Please make sure if you can hear me, just type 111 on the chat box if you know you can hear me live and direct. Thank you very much. So pay up attention because this is a very crucial thing. How you begin the week in your trading determine how probably you're going to enjoy the week and end it either profitably or struggling for the week. But you have to take into cognizance that we're going towards the end of the month this week, and so you have to understand one or two issues as it were. So, but when you get it right from the beginning of the week, your struggle will not be too much for that week. Okay, so that means we're still bullish for GU as it were. Now UJ definitely we should be bearish. Okay. You have this. I think this was my weekly key, and then this more like kind of fake out, taking out this, and then we return back, and then massive plumb down for the market as it were. Now, I'm not going detail about that, so but definitely you want to have more continuation in selling of USD JPY. All right. So that's going to give more selling opportunity for anyone who wants to buy or entered into USD JPY as it were. Okay, so I've talked about Euro USD, and let's quickly look at Bitcoin before we go into. Let's look at Bitcoin before we head on to gold, which are major guy. Now, there's something very significant. I've been telling us that my target was the Bitcoin was supposed to come back to sweep liquidity downward here. And if many of us observed the other time when we say if we break above the key level that time, or that is the diagonal support line, then that means we're likely going to continue moving up and all of that. And then we have that nicely, but unfortunately, we couldn't maintain the momentum. All right. That was a very, very big concern for Bitcoin after the whole journey. And then we have Bitcoin slammed down again. Okay. So now the chances here for Bitcoin are that either a bounce at the confluence of this point. Okay. So that means we're still budged at coming back to $74,000 as it were because of this dealing range and probably sweeping this established low and then bounce up. But if we're unable to sweep it and bounce up and then we create and close below this point, then that's going to be very, 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 very terrible. Okay. That's going to be very terrible for Bitcoin. So we can have it back to as bad as maybe 70 I say 74, sorry, 48,000, $54,000. All right. Now, a lot of people too have asked me, when are we going to have the bull run? I told us that the bull run you are expecting was individualistic in nature, and that's the truth. So, because Bitcoin actually creates a part of three over here, and then we remove, and then we come down massively, and that has continued. But if you look at it, Bitcoin after this, even after struggled and go above that 94,000 we're looking before, but this is what really happened. What really happened on Bitcoin couldn't sustain the momentum after all the journey. So what happened Bitcoin? I saw a massive rejection at this imbalance, a very massive rejection. I was talking about it that week. That oh, this thing is not good at all. We maintained a very nice momentum right over here, internal structure, a retest, and that was a nice one. And we need to have a crossover $94,000, a pullback. That was not a bad one. And then, so probably if you look at it, you now see the major failure. Now, before this failure happened, you can envisage that this market was not doing good at all because that was a very sharp rejection. So after the rejection, then that's where we are. Now here, the market has really changed face. Okay, why? Because I've taken out this, and so that means if I was taking out this will become at this point here. So taking out these and couldn't stay, that become a breaker block. So if it's a breaker block, so what happened? That become a resistance, and that's what we're having right now. So that means Bitcoin, as it were, the journey continue. So we're just taking out this, all right, and then maybe a pullback eventually, but traveling back to man, that's going to be messy. Okay, but the fast we move to that 74, $73,000, the better we bounce. But the slow we go, then the devastated anything can be in the market. Okay, so that's what it is for Bitcoin, and of course you can correlate it to other cryptocurrencies as it were. Now, so let's go to gold very quickly. Now, if we go to gold, what you're going to have in gold is very simple. We saw that gold had a lot of abandoned places that it didn't come to. Then you should know that what we're saying that gold is had been doing had been an abnormal market movement. Okay, gold has been what we call abnormal market movement. All right. So if that is the case, so I should be fine to still find a way of trading my gold. All right, in buying, on selling, and all of that. Okay. So now you have this massive breakout of gold and then a retest. And that was a very fantastic one. Sometime what we're looking at let the market come back to the origin. It's not all the time. You can have an overlap, and that's an overlap here that happened last week for gold. So one is expecting that this market needs to come back here, mitigate this point, come back here to mitigate this point. We have a lot of unmitigated area that Bitcoin gold has abandoned and has not gone back there. So, but now this is what's happening. So this week, what are we expecting? Of course, gold to continue moving up, right? Absolutely. So that means the aim of getting to $5,000 can happen anytime. So quickly, if I go to 4 hour time frame, then you're beginning to delineate where and what you want to look at in the market as it were. And then we have step by step by step by step. So that means on 4 hour time frame, if you look at it now, coming down to this point, so you invariably will say, okay, ordinarily, this market will come back to this demand zone. Okay. Now, so will it come down to the demand zone? Well, ordinarily, it ought to come to. Now, it has created another inducement here. Now, if I'm going to go to 4 hours or 1 hour quickly, so going to 1 hour, so what we'll be having what we'll be having was a market that came back to a 1 hour demand zone or another block, as it were, and then bounced back so massively, which was here. I think I was explaining it because when we're using our scanner last week. Now, so if that's the case, so what you need to have in the market is that either, okay, because logically, this is a break of structure already. Logically, we've broken this logically. So what you now be looking at now is that either of the demand zone or of the other block for the market to return back to and then give you your entry. So can it come to this extreme? Then it all depends because I've told us the market's an abnormal child. So, but if you return back to this point and it's not having momentum, continue going down, then there's going to be a need to look for a buy for gold at this point. But if it's going to invalidate it and push it up, then ultimately you should be waiting for gold at this point in time. Okay, at this level, sorry. Now, so going to 30 minutes, that's a similar thing you're going to find, and then go to 15 minutes. Okay, now going to 15 minutes, you can see the market is showing a sign of exhaustion there. And then, so you just ultimately want to see how the market take out this liquidity and then drop down to this point, and then before making a massive move. Very important. Okay, so that's what it is, and it make a lot of sense. And then we that are using scanner like PBX, sniper calls, it's a lot simple and easy for us. It doesn't matter what time frame, right? The only difference is that the waiting period will be different. But if you use a time frame of daily, of weekly, of monthly, you're going to see massive reaction of the scanner. Okay, so with that, when we go back to a more lower time frame, like 5 minutes or 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 minutes, and then 5 minutes, 1 minute, and then experiment all of this, you're going to be a surprise to yourself. Okay, so now the market, we said ultimately we should look at here, but the question you ask yourself is that, so where is the tentative high ordinarily that is invisible? That's it here. So that should be here. And then, so what would that happen? If this market forcefully break above this point and retest this point, that's 4990, then maybe you want to quickly run to that 5K. So almost the 5K is done. And so probably just take a sweep of liquidity, then a return back to this point before another buy. Okay, so just take note of that. That very very simple and important for the market. Now, so I'm not doing detailed analysis, just to like pick up some things for us, and then we're able to take advantage of it as it were. Now, of course, I've told us go strive when there are certainty issues, crisis, and all the like, and so because it's an abnormal kind of reserve, and then we have so because we got more updates about China buying up into their reserve with gold and trying to okay, so let's not talk about that here. So but that's what it is, and trying to find a proper entry and all of that. Okay, now for instance, if we use our sniper core, let's say we use our sniper core, you will see something like this: a sell, a buy, and then a sell already. But look at it, continuous. So the continuous doji. So when the market open, we can sweep up here back to 5,000 and then sell down to this point before buying up. Okay, so pay ripe attention to that, and so that you can maximize every opportunity you have from this system. Okay, so one other thing I want to look at. Okay, those of us who are trading stock, if you are not trading stock with us, you are really, really missing. Definitely, I can tell you, we are really, really missing if you are not trading stock with us because both local and international stock, we've been doing very well, except those who are not taking personal responsibility anywhere. Like we have Stanbic IBTC, just like our Nigeria US 30, right? And that was amazing. I couldn't believe my eye what I was saying, right? Because I was talking the last time I was shouting about this 86% from here, from that 800, and so people, some people bought late, some people bought at 1001, but some early one bought at $780 a naira or something. And so I was expecting as okay, if this one would do another 200%, That was going to be good. But that is not an issue. So most of the additional level I forecasted was here, 2,000 naira, and then here, 2,500 naira. Now you can see it has surpassed my prediction. So that means let's watch what's happening. So imagine buying something at 1,000 naira, and then within a few weeks, and then you have done maybe, yes, so maybe additional 1,500 naira per shares, as it were. So it's about narrative and understanding. The same thing we did to Fritzing, all of them, MTN and all of that. So that basically um, what you need to understand, and then see that as you are trading and making money investing your crypto, right? You want to diversify into stock too as a backup. Okay. But quite unfortunate that so we in our inner cycle, that's about the PBS Cash Flow Solution Club. Okay, this pullback has happened. I was expecting that pullback. Wow, that was a very good pullback. Funny enough, I was not even in the market to see. That was a very, very magnificent pullback and then rally as fast as possible. Okay, Jais Bank was on the floor for as long as possible, but not everyone could use the second eye to look at it. And we broke it, some at 4 naira, and then within that week, move as massive as possible back to 8 naira to 9 naira per share. And then we have it, yeah, at that point. Okay. So, and so many other stock like that, Lafarge, um, okay, so but this the challenge again now. Some of the foreign stock we're now having some push down, push up, and all of that. Aha! So I was not surprised. Remember, those of you who are on the inner group or the Plan B Express Capital Solution Club, I told us that if we take out this high, then we are likely going to return back for correction, and that was a very good one because I think I picked this stock from here after this pullback. This is a high, a low, and a high, a low, right? So I think it was this pullback. Okay, so that was a massive. The first target was just 21.18 and then 21.18. But if you look at it right now, from somewhere here to that all-time high, that's about 33%. That makes a whole lot of sense. So, to what extent are we going to have this now? Probably let's look at taking the fib to the high. That is, if all things being equal, that means already at the buying region. Okay, if it's already at the buying region, so maybe by next week, when market open, those of us who are buying into stock, you want to look at probably a region where you could be buying this stock. So that means a region of about 19 naira and $19, you know, $19, $20 kind of a region for you to buy. Now, many persons buy stock too and don't know how to manage their stock. So sometimes we just buy stock, either it has dividend or not, we're just holding it. We don't even know the operational arrangement of the company we buy the stock, and to be able to know, okay, what should I do at a point in time? Maybe sell off some part of my portfolio or my stock, and then it pushes back, and I'm buying back selectively, not just randomly, not just buying stock every now and then. And so these are the things I will not pay attention to, as it were. And so we'll talk about the gold. We're looking at a pullback, right, before the major move, as it were. Okay, so most time the trading we're doing is not just like hit and run. It's about being meticulous and do what is ideal, rather than wasting more energy on chart and have nothing to give about it. Okay, all right. So that's one of the things so I have for us tonight, and then tomorrow we're kicking off already. If you are part of our system, we're doing scalping with gold with our instrument scanner. It's super amazing. I must not lie to you. And then we have our, you know, what do we call it? Automated automations in terms of trading, and then trading and what's it called? Copy system. So if you want to know more about that, you have to come to our ecosystem to know how that's indeed operated as it. All right. Then by the grace of God, to this week, from um, Thursday the 29th, Friday 30th, and Saturday 31st of January, wrapping in the month. It's going to be a massive online training. We're having 3 days, and it's about automation. We're going to be talking more about automation. We call it Automation Trading Challenge. So there are a whole lot of things we're going to be unveiling. You can't afford to miss that. You have friends, let them book their calendar. 3 days starting Thursday, and of course, daily is going to be 8 p.m. GMT plus one. Okay, so you have to actually see how to harness automation, AI, and how it works to leverage, your trade and even your investment. And so these are the things uh, we have put together, and it's going to be very, very massive. Guess what? It's free. You're not charged anything to pay to be in attendance. All right. And so, but just make sure you are conscious about it so that not to fall victim of said, um, you know, a lot of people come into a platform, but because they do not really know what they are looking for there, they get carried away with other things and then distraction set up. So you have to be intentional, sacrificial in nature, and then coming in to look at, okay, what is this market going to do? What's this trend about? What's this leverage all about? Oh, automation. I think I will need it, and then be able to function on it as much as possible. It's going to be a massive one. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. And it's going to be amazing. So, I've told you Euro USD was supposed to be looking for a buying opportunity, and then GU to be looking for buying opportunity, and then, of course, UJ to be looking for selling opportunity. Other peers are there that do not have all the time, to actually look at. Definitely SND USD because of the dollar weakening, and then you could see what is happening. Now, as a beginner, I don't advise you to trade this pair as a beginner because it can be very, very volatile. So if you don't understand what it's doing, you can make a very wrong assertion about it, and then it can trigger you here and there. Okay, so that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure many of us are gotten value in this market update tonight. So thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice ride, sleep well, and let's make money.